Hello guys and welcome back to another video on my channel. Now today it is a match preview. Today I'm going to be talking about the West Brom versus Luton Town game. Going to give you guys my thoughts on this Saturday's match. And also I will talk about the last game which Luton played, and that was against Stevenage as well. So, like any other match preview, we talk about the last game which Luton played, and that was against Stevenage in the Carabao Cup. Was it a good performance? No. Did the second half get better? Yes, after the first half. We conceded 2 very sloppy goals, but we created enough to actually win the match. I have a few question marks over certain players because in that game they had a point to prove and they didn't really prove any points. But, you know, we carry on as normal. I'm definitely expecting, you know, a few players to leave the squad before the window ends. Elliot Lee, Luke Berry, Hilton. I'm expecting those 3 players to leave the club because Hilton and Berry, you've just not seen them at all really. And yeah, so I'm expecting some players to leave the club. Overall against Stevenage, it just wasn't good enough. We should have done a lot better. Obviously, we would have loved a cup run, especially now fans can actually, you know, go to the games, but it just weren't meant to be. It's early stages yet. I'm not going to be too disheartened over the game. Obviously, like I said, I would love a cup run, but it just weren't meant to be, and we move on to this West Brom game. I would have liked us to have won on Tuesday, just to go into this game against West Brom in much better form. But, you know, half the squad which played against Peterborough on the opening day of the season didn't play against Peterborough, so it shouldn't really affect the squad too much, getting knocked out of the cup against Stevenage. But anyway, you know, majority of the squad, they played against Peterborough, they put in a good performance against Peterborough, and they go into this game on ideally good form, you know, after winning the first game 3-0. Some of the players, I don't know if they are going to be fit enough for it. I think against West Brom, you need your defence to be secured at the back, and that's where I worry a little bit because we don't know what the centre-back situation is like. It was good on Tuesday night because Lockyer got 90 minutes, but he still didn't look fit enough in my opinion. Sonny Bradley hasn't featured recently, the same with Reece Burke. So at the back, it does look like we are going to be we're not going to be as strong as we could have been at the start of the season, basically. I'm expecting Naismith and Lockyer to start as the 2 centre-back partnership. I think it's too early for Osho to play as a centre-back, especially against a side like West Brom. You know, West Brom been in the Premier League last season. Obviously, it wasn't the best of seasons for them, but, you know, they've still got great players in that squad. The year before, they won promotion, you know, to the Premier League, and we all know about that because we were there. You know, we watched it. We watched them do the double over us in the Championship, and they were one of the best Championship sides that season, you know, and it showed because they went up. They've still got strong players, you know. You've got Grant up top, Snodgrass, you know, Sawyers, you know, players who have got unreal ability that can cause us plenty of problems. At the back, you know, they've got Johnston, you know, they've got Bartley as well. They've got great players, you know, all over the pitch. They've got the ex-Barnsley manager who done unreal at Barnsley last season. So there's high expectations for West Brom, and the pressure is on them. There's no pressure on Luton to get the 3 points at West Brom. For us, a draw is a perfect result, especially against West Brom. There's no shame in getting a draw away from home, and I would love a draw against West Brom. But right now, I don't think I can see it. If I'm being honest, I think I'm just being realistic on this. I just don't think we'll win. And I don't think we could get a draw. I reckon West Brom, you know, I watched the game against Bournemouth and they were the better side. They created more chances. They just didn't, you know, score enough goals. But it was a very entertaining game. They knew how to go forward. I think any team in this league, in the Championship, I feel like if you put them on the back foot, there is a massive chance you can get goals. You know, Championship is full of goals, and if your strikers are on it, then, you know, the game could be very interesting. But you need your strikers to take their opportunities, because sometimes against teams like West Brom, you don't get many opportunities to score. So if we are going to get an opportunity, just make sure Harry Cornick isn't that man in the right area to take that opportunity, because we know that Harry Cornick is not clinical in front of goal, and the amount of chances he gets does not fill me with confidence at all, really. The game against Stevenage, he missed a few big chances which he's got to score. So I hope, fingers crossed, that the lights on Fred Onyedinma Adebayo, Clark, like the other midfield players, you know, they get those opportunities instead of Harry, because right now I don't have no confidence in Harry Cornick scoring 10 goals this year. And I'm not just slagging him off, but I just don't think his finishing's getting better. And we're at that point now where he's got to take certain chances. You've got to at least test the keeper at times. Like I said, against West Brom, their defence and goalkeeper, they're brilliant. You know, they are good. You know, some may question they shouldn't be championship players. They should be Premier League players. But that's the situation we are in. So, if we are going to get an opportunity against West Brom, we must take it. You know, not, you know, hit it over or miss a big opportunity. We've got to take it. I do feel like Nathan, he will go a little bit defensive in this game, as expected against West Brom. I'd be very surprised if Nathan doesn't play Glenn Ray. I'll be very surprised, because I know he's a big fan of Glenn Ray, and he likes having a DM, you know, a man sitting in front of the back four protecting it. And if he doesn't do that, I'll be very surprised. I'll be gobsmacked. But if he puts in a system which looks like it's going to go for the win and actually go for it, then fair play to him. I also think this game against West Brom is a test for Luton to see how far away, how close we are to competing much higher up in the Championship. Like Nathan and the owners have come out and said they want to challenge, they want to do better than what they did last season. This game will show, can we actually do that? Because West Brom, they're definitely going to be up there. There's no doubt about that. There's no questions about that. If they're not, then I'm going to be godsmacked. But they are going to be fighting for, you know, promotion, West Brom. There's no doubt about that. So if we can get a result and put in a decent performance, then that is a brilliant result. Regardless, you know, it's fantastic to see. And it does put us, you know, in good light for the rest of the season, that we can go to places and we can get a result as well. This is also the first time we're playing against a team that has home fans. You know, we haven't done that in over a year now. So this is going to be a big test to see, can we cope with the West Brom atmosphere. You know, it's their first home game of the season, so their fans are going to be up for it. Their fans are going to be wanting, you know, their team to go on and win it. And there's no, like, surprises about that, you know. West Brom at home, it's normally good atmosphere because the away end and the home fans are next to each other. So it's hopefully going to be a good game, you know. I want Luton to try and get something from it. I'm not expecting more than a draw. I don't think anyone should do, but I do think it's going to be a good test. What is my score prediction for this game? I'm going to go with a 2-0 West Brom win. I would love a draw, like I keep saying throughout the video, but I just don't see it right now. I think because of the new lads, you know, they're still gelling, they're still getting used to each other. I still think it's going to take a few games until we can start finding that right balance within the team to start picking up really good results. But if we do, then fair play to Nathan and the players if we can get a result. What would be my starting 11, which I think Nathan will pick for this game against West Brom? So in goal, Sluga, right back, James Bree. The centre-back partnership, as I mentioned, Lockyer and Naismith. And then at left-back, Amari Bell. I reckon in the midfield, he's going to have Glenn Ray. And he's also going to have Pelly and Alan Campbell. The three attackers, I reckon it's going to be Cornick, Fred Onyedinma and Adebayo. I think he will end up dropping Clark. Or he may actually just play the exact same team that played against Peterborough, which could potentially happen. I'm not too sure, but I can't see Osho starting. And I'd be very surprised because I just don't think he's ready just yet. That's just my view on that. So there you have it, guys. That is my overall thoughts for this game against West Brom. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section of this video. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it. Comment below, as I mentioned, your thoughts, your score predictions and your predicted 11s that you will play for this game against West Brom. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you guys in the next video.